You ready? Hey, mommies. Welcome to the Power Show.
I'm Miriam.
And I'm Lachey, aka Shay.
Hey.
I'm gonna do this next time.
Hey.
Don't do that.
Anyway, Miriam, what's your check-in moment?
Okay, well, this particular topic is about challenges in waiting to get married.
Okay.
Okay, so my check-in moment is about a guy that I met. He approached me. We had a little eye contact,
You set the scene.
Okay, so I was just walking, I was doing my little mommy thing. I had my kids with me too, which is strange because, well, not strange, but a lot of men don't approach me when I have my kids.
Okay.
So, he waited or whatever, and then for a moment to where I was by myself. So, he asked me for my number, and I was like, okay. And my kids was like, ooh, like, I don't have men around my kids. Like, they don't know who I'm dating. I talk to them after they go to sleep. Like, they don't even know if I'm, going to date or nothing. So when they see me, when I approached my kids, they was like, did you get married? And I'm like, no.
They married you already?
Married?
They
So,
too much.
I ended up telling him later, he was like, why were you so giddy? I was like, because my kids thought that was just hilarious that I was talking to a guy. And the guy ended up telling me later, like, behind my back, my son was like, go, like, get away from my mom. But it was just so cute to see them interact. They thought it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, like, let's just find out what's going on with him. So long story short, we talked and then we met up and we just hung out. We were just trying to, it wasn't a date. It wasn't an official date. We just met up for like coffee.
Okay.
And so in that, I kind of felt like we weren't that compatible, but I just decided to just continue to talk to him, see what type of guy he was. He seemed like a great man, but it just things about him that just didn't intrigue me.
Okay.
Long story short, I texted him. I was like, look, I really feel that you're, a nice guy. It was nice meeting you, blah, blah, blah. But, I don't think that we're compatible. And so he was like, why? And I gave him the reasons why. Like, I just feel like our lifestyles are different. Like, eventually, da-da-da. And he was like, okay, I appreciate that. I'll see you around. That was it. I was like, thank you for respecting me. Have a great day. He texted me back like 2 hours later. He was like, I did want to be intimate with you, though. I was looking forward to that.
Oh! Wait a minute. Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on. Stop the presses.
Yes.
Time out.
Yes.
Foul play.
Yes.
Not safe. So basically, he like, but I still wanted to hit that though.
Right. Yes. Right.
Is this man black?
Should I say?
You say, girl.
Yeah. He's black. He's black. He's black.
That's all we gotta do is this. I'm so mad right now.
I know.
I'm so upset with your check-in moment. Why?
You guys see this is authentic, right?
See, this is why.
Okay, so I was just like, what exactly did you mean? And he's like, women, y'all, y'all got feelings and things sometimes y'all want, to be fulfilled. And I'm the man for you.
So basically he's saying like, I'm your go-to when you have a little itch down there.
Yes.
What is wrong?
Yes. I had never been came.
Is this what I have to look forward to later? Like, seriously?
I don't think so. Or maybe. I don't know.
What the heck? But you know what? I'm glad I put off those vibes, like, leave me alone, because I have not yet to be approached since I've been divorced, and I'm glad for it, because stuff like that, I would have been like, nigga. Like, I would have been so mad.
I gotta respect his go get it attitude. Like,
no.
That's exactly what I told him. I said, I don't know how you got, I never even gave you a hug. Like
that vibe.
I never that conversation.
But people
never
think
came
single
up.
moms are so desperate that we're willing to give ourselves like
you think
that.
That's what it is?
Seriously, I think
together
it's
for
almost like a
myself.
pity date. Like she's single, I'm sure no man gonna approach her. She gonna want this, like.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. So I ended up, telling him the piece of my mind, not in a very respectful way.
No, I would have been. There's respect went out the door when he said I was trying to be intimate with you.
Well, for me, I'm not gonna lose my cool over you. I'm not gonna let him see that. So I basically told him, I was like, look, check this out. I don't know why you think that I'm that type of woman, but obviously, if I told you I don't want nothing to do with you, you don't think I can get sex from you? I know I can get sex from you. That's not what I want.
First of all,
Boom.
I don't need help to get sex from you, period.
Period.
So what make... Girl, okay.
So
I don't want this show to turn into that. I'm going to just calm down. I'm going to really calm down because I'm in my feelings.
So what else you tell him?
he just basically said, well, I apologize if I offended you. I just thought that I put that out there. So I took a minute. I was talking to one of my girlfriends. Shout out to Jessica. Because I was actually talking to Jessica about him before he texted me that. And then I told her about it afterwards. So I was able to kind of vent. But I told him, I said, what? You're a king. You deserve more. He said no strings attached. So I told him, I said, you know what? Honestly, I'm sad for you. Because you don't realize your worth. As a child, a creation of God. And I said, as a man, God has a plan for your life, and that you're a king, and you deserve more than just to be giving yourself away with no strings attached too.
And what did he say?
Nothing.
Oh, he wasn't ready for that. See, that's the kind of man. See, a real man would be ready for that. He would have came back like, you know what, you right. That probably would have set the scene for him to get himself together. Like, I need her in my life.
That's it. So there you have it. That's my chicken.
I'm so upset.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say y'all. I'm sorry. See, y'all can see they didn't know what I was
Because you
saying.
know what? You be having hope for these men. They just show you like he's still a man.
And
like,
that's what I told him. I said,
so horny.
I'm not even the type of woman to put black men in a box. That's what I told him.
Yeah, that's true.
I said, but it seems as though no matter what I do or don't say or how I carry myself or I don't carry myself, men like you will always find a way to fit us into that category. Like, I can just say whatever I want. Do whatever I want. I'm sorry. You need a minute?
Next. I'm so mad at him right now. That just pissed me off. I'm so mad.
So that was new for me. But yeah. So
Going back to the topic, you said, we discussed challenges of waiting for marriage. So what are some of the challenges that you actually deal with? Because for me, I don't think I have any challenges with waiting for marriage. I actually like waiting, and I actually like that I'm in the waiting, meaning that because I'm not seeking to date anyone and I'm just so passionate about my purpose, I don't think about marriage. And then two, in back of my mind, I know that I will be married again, so I just don't think about marriage. So I'm not waiting on anyone, actually. I'm living my life. So what are the challenges? Because I think you and I are kind of opposite. You want to date. You want to explore. I don't want to date. You want to be married. I'm like, if it happens, it happens. I know it's going to happen, so I'm not really stressed about it. So just give me some of the challenges that you're dealing with waiting, since you want to be married because you haven't been yet.
Okay. Well, I think like for a single woman or a single man, from a woman's perspective, that have never been married, the number one thing is the unknown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you prepare for school by getting your lunch and your books and all that. Then you know that you're going to learn something. What subject? You prepare for, going somewhere by packing your bags, X, Y, Z. But when you prepare for marriage, it's like so many levels and so many layers to it. You don't know what to expect. So it's kind of like the process of like, how do I prepare for something I don't know, right? And so what I've done is I've learned to just be content in who I am and just continue to grow as a woman and individual, But in doing that, it's like, okay, so like the guy I just told you about, like you meet people that you may or may not be compatible with, and it's like it eventually it starts to drain your energy. Like for me, I'm to the point where I'm content in where I am in my singleness, but yeah, I do want to date. But when you run into people that don't know who they are, or they pretend to be somebody up until like a certain point, it's like, wow, like what do I do with that? So that's one of the main challenges, like being prepared in myself, but at the same time, like not knowing what to expect from the next person,
Well, I think with not knowing to expect, that's with anything. You learn on the job. You didn't know what to expect as a mother, and people can have all the books in the world about how to be a mom, but you learn on the job. Mm-hmm. You learn what best works for your family, right? Mm-hmm. So when it comes to marriage, yeah, you have your family and friends giving you advice on what not to do and what to do. You can read the Bible as well. That's a great source of how to carry yourself as a woman or a wife, vice versa as a man, as a husband. But you're still learning on the job, because even though these things work for these people. Whatever worked for your husband. Like for me, I think in my past marriage, my mistake was wanting someone like my father.
Okay.
But I didn't marry my father. I didn't marry someone like him. So trying to put my ex-husband in the box of like, you need to have 3 jobs, you need to be this, you need to be that. But that was the example I had, right?
Okay.
So for me, I can't really say people can tell you how to prepare because you don't know what to expect. You learn on the job, because whoever you marry, you have to finesse your marriage according to their personality, their character, and what works for them and what works for you together, what works for you separately. So it's like it's almost like on the job experience.
Okay.
You're not gonna know until you get there.
Yeah.
Now you can go in there with the idea like what things you're not gonna tolerate. Like I'm not gonna tolerate men who don't work. That's a given. Certain things you can go in there and say, like, I'm not gonna tolerate. But if your man wants to fall on hard times, get injured, get this, get that, how are you gonna handle your husband? How are you gonna encourage him to build him back up? Things like that. So I think when it comes to marriage, it's just like straight on the job experience.
Okay.
No one knows how to be married until they are married. Period. And in my experience, I just said, you know what, I don't want to repeat history. So though my ex-husband had his flaws, it was some things that I never want to repeat as a wife, as me being a future wife. It's I don't even want to see that wife again, honestly.
Wow.
I didn't like that wife that I was. I really didn't. And I think part of it was because of my self-esteem was so shot. I just became I was a different woman. And it trickled down into my marriage as well.
Okay.
So I don't want to see that wife ever again. So that's why for me, I can't necessarily say I'm in preparation, but I have a lot of work to do to get there again.
Okay.
So that's why I'm like, I'm cool. I'm going to take my time. And then when God presents it again to me, He'll know when I'm ready.
Right.
So and I will line up with it as well. Have you ever noticed like you line up with God's will when He tells you to do something?
Oh, yeah.
So right now I'm not in alignment because He knows I'm not ready for that. But when He knows like, okay, Lachey, you're ready, trust and believe Lachey will be in alignment with how she carries herself, how she thinks, and whatever. And I might be in preparation for it now, but I'm not in alignment with that because that's not what God has for me at this moment.
Wow.
He wants me to focus on my purpose and doing what I'm supposed to do in Him and for Him and for the people to serve, right?
Right.
So I'm just not there. So
that's good. For me, my thing is I don't want to say fearful, but everybody said they don't want to be divorced, but it's like if I feel like if I was to get divorced, that would be it for me. You know, so it's like going into marriage not knowing like if that trying your best to be a whole person, right? Like because you have to be 2 whole people to come together to have a successful marriage, obviously, but not knowing where that person lacks until you're already there.
Right.
Or not even sometimes not knowing where you lack. You know, what you need help with or what you need to deal with and tackle from your past. It's like, how do I know that? Like, I know you don't really know, but it's like a kind of like a fear. Like, how do I know that when I get there, even though this is the person that I chose, this is something.
But I don't think your mind should be there. Like, whose mind is? You shouldn't have a mind to already set up yourself for failure. Stop thinking about like, is it gonna work? If I get divorced, oh, that's gonna be it for me. Why are you even there? First of all, you're not even married. So why even put your mind in a position of thinking how it will be once you're divorced? No. Just know in your mind, if this is you, and a lot of people say divorce is not an option. Some people say divorce is not an option, and no matter what their marriage go through, they still are married.
Right.
And I'm just not built for that. Because I have deal breakers.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm all about loyalty and commitment. So if you're cheating, that's a deal breaker for me. And I can't say divorce is not an option. I'm like, oh, you got to go.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah.
But I think in never being married and seeking that, you shouldn't go in the mindset of, I'm going to be devastated if I get divorced. Cross that bridge if that even ever happens. Don't already have yourself at that bridge. Some things you don't need to address until it ever happens. And I'm not going to say until it happens because it might not ever happen.
Yeah, I hope not.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, get that out your mind. That's negative. And you're already speaking death into your marriage that's not even here yet.
Wow, that's powerful. What?
I was watching a sermon with T.D. Jakes, and he was saying how, like, it's so funny how you can be strong and have faith for one area, but not the other. And I'm very guilty of that. I'm so strong and have so much faith for my network and the show popping off. But when it comes to marriage, I'm still lacking in that faith. And I'm honest with God. Like, Lord, I'm struggling with knowing that I can have a successful marriage after a divorce.
Okay.
And I'm very honest with the Lord. And the only way I can get through that is if I'm honest with Him, right? Yeah. And I know eventually I'll get to the place where I'm like, my faith is strong for that as well. But at this very moment, I'm still struggling with that.
Okay.
So when I say that to say, like, you have faith for stuff like that, but you got to know without a shadow of a doubt that your marriage is going to be awesome. You're not going to be divorced. Your husband's going to have your back. He's going to support you. Your kids are going to love him.
Amen.
He's going to love your children. You have to have faith for that marriage already that doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? So if you have that faith already that you're going to be this awesome wife, he's going to be an awesome husband. And though you have challenges like any relationship does, you're going to get through it. You're going to work together. But don't have that mindset to say that if I get divorced, I'm going to be devastated. Who won't think like that? That's like saying, girl, if I get cancer tomorrow, I'll be mad. Like, what? Why are you thinking about getting cancer?
I just mentioned that because you said what you said. Right? Like, it's not like if I meditate on marriage or I think or when I pray about marriage, I'm not praying about if I get divorced. Like, I'm not overlooking like, oh, this is just my marriage, but this is the end goal is divorce. I'm just saying, I'm just being transparent about, the possibilities.
No. Don't be transparent about that. No. Some stuff you just gotta say no. No, devil, no. Don't give him any kind of room. No. No. And people think too, because I'm divorced, I'm so anti-marriage when I'm not. But I still hate divorce. No matter what I went through, if I had a friend or somebody who's dealing with divorce, I'm helping a young lady who's going through divorce, it's devastating because I know how that felt. I know how that death feels. So it's like, no, we not. That's one of your challenges, I think, in waiting is that negativity. No,
because I think it stems from like the women in my family that have experienced that, and then the cycle is remarry the same man years later. So that happened with my grandma, and that happened with my mom, and then my great grandma went through something similar to that.
So that's when you got to decide, like, okay, the generational curse stops with them. I'm not going to even deal with that. Yeah. So my first husband is going to be my only husband.
Yeah. So
until the Lord takes him or until he takes us. Like, you have to already have that in your mind. Like, for me, though I'm still not ready for marriage and I still have some challenges with believing that I can have a successful marriage after a divorce, I'm already at a mindset where I'm like, I don't want to date. My next man is going to be my husband and my last husband and my own. Like, I'm not dating.
You said that too.
And that's something I stand, for some reason, though I struggle with believing my marriage going to be successful, I don't struggle with saying, like, my next person is going to be my husband. Period. I'm not dating. I'm not kissing 8 frogs to find Prince Charming. Not doing it.
Right.
God knows it's just certain things that, no, I shouldn't have to date 5 different men to find this one. I'm at a place where it's like, if he's not my husband, I don't want to deal with him.
Right.
And that's why I feel the 2 years I've been divorced, that's why I haven't been approached, because God knows my desire. So since he feels like, okay, since you don't want to date until I send you your husband, let's wait until you're ready.
That's true.
And I'm not ready yet, so therefore my husband hasn't found me.
That's true.
Period. So if you have that mindset, like, I just have the mindset, like, I'm not dating no man unless it's my spouse. People are like, well, how you know that? I've known at least 3 women on 3 different occasions who said the exact same thing, and they've been married 20 plus years.
Yeah,
they don't want to deal with
that too. Yeah.
Their first husband was their only husband. Or their second husband, because they went through a divorce, it's like, I'm not dating anymore unless it's my husband.
Oh, you don't see that as a form of waiting?
Kind of. But I'm not necessarily...
But it's not in preparation.
Yeah, because I'm not waiting like, oh, is that him? Or, you know how you kind of contemplate in your mind, like, who is he? How is he like? Or, you're kind of wondering. I don't have that in mind. I don't have that in mind. I almost feel like, and this might sound strange, I almost feel like I know who he is. It's just that it's like almost like a movie. Like, you know how like he's getting ready on this side and this person's getting ready on this side, and then all of a sudden it's gonna be like a crash. Like, ooh, I dropped my coffee. I bumped into him.
That's so cute.
Love at first sight. And I'm not saying it's gonna happen like that, but I feel like I'm not waiting. I'm just doing my thing, doing his thing. And God gonna bring it together when it's supposed to be together.
Yeah, like I said, like I don't feel like I'm anxious. Like I've been to a place where I was like, oh my God, when is it gonna happen? When am I gonna meet somebody? When am I gonna have somebody help me with this? These emotions and my feelings and stuff like that. Sometimes I get to that place, you know, like as a woman, like I feel that way about certain things. But it's like, for the most part, I don't feel like, oh, I gotta have it. I gotta get married like tomorrow.
Right.
You know, I feel like, oh, okay. But I do feel you when you said that you don't want to date all these different men and kiss all these different frogs, and the Lord knows where you are. Because I prayed that prayer, like when I first had my kids, I was like, Lord, I don't feel like being around nobody. I don't want nobody to approach me. I don't want nobody, you know, nobody's energy. I just, seriously, I'm not there, and nobody approached me. But when, like, I made up in my mind, like early last year, not 2019, that I'm ready, like, to date. Like, that's when I started going out and different stuff like that. So, but it's still like, some of the people out here, it's just like,
and somebody might be like, Lachey, well, how you know you gonna get married? You don't open the door. I just feel like the praying woman that I am, I and just period, like you're gonna know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna know.
As
like,
you go and know who you are, then it's easier. Just like some of the guys that it's easier for me. Like, I don't go on dates, right, until I talk to you on the phone for a few times. Okay. Or I might meet up with you once or twice, whatever, just over coffee. Like, technically, that could be considered a date or whatever. But
the pre-date.
A pre-date.
Right.
A pre-date. But it's not an official date,
tester,
like getting dressed up and all that. And I feel like if you not where I feel like you should be as a man, or you not a possible good suitor for me, just lose my number. I don't do the whole friend thing. Let's just be friends. I'll see you around. It's no use in doing that to me. Because that's leaving that door open for a possibility or, you know, temptation. Just, I just feel lonely. I just want to call somebody.
Yeah, and that's a challenge. Loneliness. And honestly, if I can be very transparent, please forgive me, but I'm going to be very transparent.
Go ahead, girl. I think we know you enough to know you're going to be transparent.
But I have to, you know, this is a rated R comment. So, hide your kids, hide your wife. The only time I really feel like lonely is when you want some sex, when you horny. That's just keeping it real. And when those times come, it's like, oh Lord, just help me, Jesus, because oh Lord, because you're not gonna make that one phone call, and you have that
for real,
like your friend, that to go person.
Oh my God!
you have that to go person, like you can just hit an emoji, like the little cone emoji, and they'll be right over.
Oh my God!
But it's
easy,
like,
right? And
girl,
that's another thing that a lot of men take for granted, like women that are faithful, right? Like, I'm not trying to like sidetrack the conversation, but we have that, like on call, like we can get it.
We can get it.
Yeah.
So I have to keep it real with myself. Like, the only time I even really want a man is when I'm having urges. Other than that, no.
It's what you say. So I got something for that.
And it's not man bashing.
I got something for that too.
It's not man bashing. I love men. Like I love men. It's just that the state that I'm at right now, I'm waiting. Let me just say this: I'm single but not available. Period. You could be single.
Not ready to mingle.
Yeah, you could be single but just not available to open that door for dating. And I think my only challenge is not getting to the place where I'm old and still there. And somebody might be like, girl, you bitter. Now you gonna have cats food. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so that will be my challenge, when to turn that off. Like, Lachey, okay, we get it. You don't need no man. You're a boss woman. We get it. It's like, how to turn that off. That's my challenge.
Okay.
Like, no, you need a husband. You need, you know, somebody need to be a great example for Trey. You can have that, you know. So that's my challenge. Like, when do I turn that off and say, okay, now my heart is open to allow a man to come in?
And I think you'll know. I think it'll be perfect timing. Like, I do trust God's timing, and I believe things happen according to the way it's supposed to.
And that's why I ain't tripping. Like, so if any challenge, I don't want to deal with no man coming at me like that. Like, girl,
I never had that. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Okay.
Let me rub your feet. Let me suck your toe.
And that's what he say. Like, let me suck your toe. Just one? I got 9 more.
You think so? She said I got 9 more. But seriously, okay, so another challenge. Sex.
I was going to say that next.
Going into that.
Sex. I was going to say that next.
Don't rhyme nothing with sex. It's not appropriate. Do you challenge? Does that challenge?
No, like sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. You know.
That's it.
Sometimes.
That's good. She is so bad she can't even talk on it. One word. Sometimes. She don't want to put herself on blast. You hide. Let me finish.
No. That to me, that's not too big of a challenge. Like, but one of my friends always say, it's easy to be celibate when you're single, but when you're in a relationship and you really have feelings for somebody, that's when the challenge comes. Yeah, you know. True. And I think to a certain degree, that may be a part of my challenge, like knowing, like, look, I can't get too close. But I never really met a man that was just like, I'm there too. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me to date. Like, before in other shows, we talked about, like, men that I know that are celibate and that's willing to wait, but I didn't necessarily date those men. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, they're in a relationship with somebody that's actually there yet too. That's also there. Like, on their celibacy tip and that's waiting and stuff for their own reasons. I never really had that. You know, you gotta know your triggers. Like, I feel like a lot of people, because that's the problem with me. Like, I wasn't, after like certain experiences from the past, and sexual experiences, I felt like I wasn't honest about my triggers, right? So when it would go down, I'll be like, oh, like, I didn't know that was gonna turn me on like that. Like, you knew, you was playing yourself, you know?
Yeah, you knew.
So
come over here, just sit right here so we can read our Bible. And the angels is looking at you like, You know, I always think about, like, when I used to do stuff, I'd be like, I had a visual all the time. When I used to, like, you know how people kiss with their eyes closed? Mm-hmm. But I'll be so convicted because I knew it was about to go down deeper than that. I would look up and be like, I'm sorry. Like, in my mind, like, I'm sorry. And he just looking like, You know, like, I just always had that feeling. So that's why I be like, it's just certain things because I know me and I know me.
Yeah.
So that's why I be like, you know, Lord, no. Just bring my husband because I'm trying to live right.
Wow.
So that could be another thing too. Like, it's reasons why I don't want to date because that's it's like, true. And then, for instance, I have 3 couples: my mom, my aunt, my cousin, and my best friend. All 3 of them started dating, got engaged, and got married within 1 year.
That's
1
great.
year.
That's great.
So I feel like I don't have to date somebody for 5 years.
Yeah.
For him to know that I'm his wife.
Yeah.
And 2, though the word of God says he that findeth, I know that God is going to tell me too that he's the one for me because I'm praying to make sure I make the right decision as well. So it's not going to take long for us to know that we are it.
Yeah.
So therefore, that's why I'm like, for what? Because once I meet him, it might be a wrap. Yeah. It might not even take long.
Yeah, and then you know what? It's a fact that most men, like, that meet a woman that's gonna be their wife or that's their wife, they know within like the first 6 months to a year. And some men
shorter than that. My dad told me like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
they know 3 weeks. Yeah, that a man is their woman. I mean, that's gonna be his wife.
Yeah. So there's no excuse. But the prolonging is what? Usually people have sex or they give them a husband?
Or prolong it just the formalities, like getting to know each other a little bit deeper. But he already know back in his mind, like, I already got the ring, you know.
They're doing stuff that they else should be doing with their husband and wife.
Well, that's them. That ain't us.
Yeah, but
that ain't gonna be us no more. That was us.
No, that ain't me no more. But
grace.
So I'm good. So I don't know if I have a lot of challenges, but the thing about it is just staying focused on what I know God told me to do. You know, being obedient, waiting, being patient. You know, patience. Like honestly, like full patience.
Patience is a virtue.
Whatever. What does that mean?
I don't know. I just say it. Well, okay, virtue.
Mm-hmm.
It's like.
Look
I was
it up.
thinking, huh?
Look it up. Google it.
Virtue is a quality of being morally good. If you're writing a screenplay and you want it to be a real tearjerker, make sure your hero is full of virtue. The word virtue comes from the Latin root ver for man. At first, virtue meant manliness or valor, but over time, it settled into the sense of moral excellence.
So when people say patience is a virtue, it's like
It's a sign of moral excellence. It's a good quality to have.
You got it. You know how it's like right there,
right.
But then somebody else saying it's like that part.
That part. You just give it to
You
him.
said 1 minute.
And
1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay. For me, in waiting, I'm going to just say this. Just be positive in your waiting. You don't have to necessarily be over the top like myself. I think me and Miriam are like on the opposite end of the scale. It's like 0 to 100. So find that middle ground in waiting. Be patient and get to know yourself while you're waiting. Yeah. And then once, I believe, be open to also what God is trying to show you about yourself that you need to work on.
Yes.
Ooh. So you can be in preparation.
Good.
Because I'm going to just say this. You never want to be in a position for a job that you have no experience for. Be prepared. God is not going to give you a job that he knows you're not prepared for. Mm-hmm. So just be patient in your waiting and have a good time. Get to know yourself on the We love you, mommies. Have a good and awesome day.